When you have to add a new feature, the system design of that feature is not that straightforward and simple. And because of this collaborative aspect of the things that you have to collaborate with a lot of stakeholders, AI cannot just directly replace this particular aspect of backend engineering. Now, as an on-call, it is your duty that you debug whatever type of issue comes. If you already have an existing system and you have to add features on top of it, a random bootstrapped data model might not be the best fit. Every piece of code that you're writing has some kind of like a trade-off, right? It might not be the case that what's good for your code base. So everyone is saying that AI is going to replace software engineers. And to be very honest, at this point of time, AI can easily write a lot of boilerplate code, including a lot of SQL queries, backend APIs, front-end components, and whatnot. But interestingly, these are not the most important thing if you see with respect to a backend engineering aspect, which makes the overall product the most useful. The actual skills that make the product more scalable, maintainable, and extensible are actually the ones that AI is still struggling to get perfect on. And in this particular video, I'm going to talk about what are some of the top skills that at this point of time in terms of backend engineering, AI is not able to excel like 100%. Of course, there can be some corner cases, but these are some very, very important skills that every single project, every single product needs in terms of backend engineering. So without any further ado, let's just start. But before starting the video, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing because we are going to put some really awesome content around tech and career on this channel. Also, if you want to learn data structures and algorithms, there is another channel that is linked in the description section below. Do check that out and try to follow all the problem solving there. So let's just start. So before moving forward in the video, I would like to tell you about the brand new offering of Algocamp, which is the Lambda 5.0 course. So this is the 5th iteration of the flagship advanced backend development course with Node.js, but this time it's bigger and better. This time Algocamp has introduced a lot of new projects. The whole ecosystem is going to be more AI powered. There are projects including Lovable Clone, your own AI fitness tracker, own AI interview planner and interview prep, I would say tool. There is some deep engineering concepts around distributed transaction using which you're going to make a payment system or a payment wallet system altogether. There's going to be a workflow manager project. You're going to try to understand how exactly you can use the concepts of, let's say, CDC in order to implement different projects. A lot of deep technical projects and deep technical understanding you are going to get. This particular course is going to focus on making sure that you understand the system architectures and deep system concept that a lot of senior engineers are always involved with, and try to make projects on top of that. You are going to see actual scaling strategies, replication strategies, how you can make sure that your system is fault tolerant, and concepts around, let's say, Kafka, concept around Redis and whatnot. There is so many different projects that are actually added, including a WhatsApp system, something like a Netflix-like system, a Twitch-like system, a lot of AI-powered tools. We are going to actually make something like Lovable Clone and whatnot. Do check out the link in the description section below. Get the idea about all the projects that you are going to get and build. This is something that will take you from an absolutely beginner level backend developer to a very advanced level backend engineer altogether. We have received such great testimonies from the last set of batches, and people are actually loving what we have already built, but this time we have made sure that this is bigger and better. So do check out the link in the description section below and use this coupon code to get massive discounts on the current price. And now let's go back to the video. Start. Now see, it's of course very easy that you start a boilerplate code like absolutely from scratch and build a small project using, let's say, prompts that you give to AI models like Claude. But in real projects, in real big architected systems, when you have to add a new feature, the system design of that feature is not that straightforward and simple. It's not another article that you have to just read and implement. When you have to add even a very small feature, there's a lot of discussion that actually happens with the stakeholders. You need to understand what the existing system is, what are some of the problems that the existing system has, based on which your design gets influenced. You have to yourself figure out that if a particular feature, let's say, scales for a million, how you can optimize that, how you're going to optimize the storage, what type of storage is good for you. For example, maybe the problem that you're solving, the best possible storage is maybe not even compatible with your ecosystem in your company. So what storage solutions you have to use, how you will eventually scale, how you will write the code, where exactly you have to write the code, how exactly you're going to make sure that the existing system doesn't break, what are your testing strategies, what is your scaling strategies, how exactly from the upstream you are going to consume the data, how you're going to give the data to the downstream, what actually the product managers and the product folks want. All of these things requires a lot of detailed discussions, a lot of detailed system design aspect, writing your own design document, presenting it to your team, and getting everybody on board that this is what you want to do. This is one of the core skills that majority of the backend engineers spend most of their time at. And because of this collaborative aspect of the things that you have to collaborate with a lot of stakeholders, AI cannot just directly replace this particular aspect of backend engineering. So system design and collaboration with the stakeholders is the first skill that you definitely need to master. Now, at this point of time, you might be able to see there are a lot of big applications which are actually built based on a lot of code written like historically. Now, because of a lot of code written, there can be a lot of issues as well. That's why we have on-calls who are actually available during a certain period of time so that any issues can be caught. Now, as an on-call, it is your duty that you debug whatever type of issue comes. Now, in general, issues might not be just like there was an input given and an output expected, but the output is deviating. The issues can be of different variety. For example, let's say your API latency is increasing, right? Or let's say, for example, the data that you were expected to process, there is some precision issue in that data. Or let's say your pipelines were depending on some upstream pipelines and they are out of SLA, they are not giving you the right data. All of these problems are very non-typical problems that you generally solve with AI. In all of these problems, you have to dig down and understand your system well, right? You must be having the context of what is the business requirements and what your product has been built. All of this context needs to be already there so that you can actually debug. For example, if your API latency is increasing, it might be because of a lot of issues. Maybe recently a new DB query has been pushed, which is not that optimized. Or let's say there are some contingency coming up in the network altogether. Or let's say there is some cache mechanisms that are not actually working, and maybe many more. So all of these things require you to have deep understanding of your code base, deep understanding of your business requirements. And this is something that only comes with the fact that when you spend a lot of time engineering your own product and engineering, like doing a lot of engineering work in the system actually. This is a very crucial skill that you have to manually understand and learn, that how do you debug these kind of like issues. Like for example, you can definitely give a big log file to AI and in order to find out what the stack trace is and where the function is failing. But whether the function is failing because of some logical issue in that function, or maybe there was some upstream data that was not actually present. All of these things is something that you have to yourself actually figure out. For all of these things, maybe AI can assist you, but directly automating it end to end with AI is at this point of time actually not possible based on my experience. Now, of course, if you give a particular type of a feature requirement to AI and expect it to generate a data model, it can definitely generate that for you. But again, a similar problem occurs that if you already have an existing system and you have to add features on top of it, a random bootstrapped data model might not be the best fit. You have to understand your data requirements. You have to understand what is the query pattern. You have to understand what is the requirement of where to store the data, how frequently the data will be accessed, and so on. And then compatibility with your existing backend, compatibility with consuming the data from upstream. All of these things are also something that you have to keep in mind. Plus, you have to upfront think about performance optimizations. You have to upfront think about how exactly, if let's say later we have to migrate from this particular database to another database, how will you do that? Backup of your database, right? How frequently you want to do the backup, security aspect of your database, because maybe in your database you have some really crucial and I would say sensitive information, private information. So is that absolutely okay to expose that to AI? Maybe not. So all of these things are something that still require a lot of manual intervention, and hence this is also one of those skills that as a backend engineer you cannot skip. Now, one of the key aspects of writing good and scalable backend code is to understand that every piece of code that you're writing has some kind of like a trade-off, right? It might not be the case that what's good for your code base might be good for every other code base as well. So these kind of engineering trade-offs are something that AI doesn't have like out of the box context, because in that case it needs to know everything about the coding environment, ecosystem, business requirement, etc. And at least at this point of time, it's kind of like a bit less possible that you can feed all of those contexts on together. Of course, there is a mechanism of creating skills in, let's say, I would say models like Claude, where you can actually tell what are the set of things that you have to always keep in mind. But still, a lot of time what you will see is that these kind of trade-offs is something that AI is not able to take the best decision for. Along with that, a lot of times you will realize that when AI is writing code, in some of the cases, it might not, I would say, consider the most performant solution altogether. Rather than sometimes it optimizes for a more simpler solution. Of course, for a small scale application, maybe those simpler solutions are good. But maybe for your application, if the scale is very high, then you need some specific performance optimization at all point of time. For example, avoiding, I would say, n+1 queries, right? This is something that maybe AI doesn't do out of the box, at least let's say for the systems that you have. But maybe it's very crucial for you, right? Setting the right set of indexes when you are actually preparing your databases, what indexes are important. This is going to be based on what kind of query patterns you have, right? And then making sure that these indexes are queried in the right way as well. So all of these performance optimizations and engineering trade-offs are something that AI has, at least at this point of time, not excelled a lot. And as a software engineer, it's completely your responsibility to take a charge of that. Now, another important aspect is reviewing code. Of course, you can create a lot of lines of code using AI, but you still need human intervention for reviewing it properly. Of course, let's say, for example, using Claude, you can get code reviews done as well. But those code reviews are not thorough in terms of what is your business requirement, what is your engineering trade-offs that you have kept in mind. And maybe sometimes it's not just like completely reliable to just trust what AI is writing and ship it without actually getting it reviewed. A lot of times maybe it might alter the database, which is technically non-compliant for you. Maybe it tries to access some data inside the database, which is technically very private or very sensitive. So because of all of these things, manual code reviews is still something very important. And as a seasoned backend engineer, you should be able to actually read the code, understand it, understand the flaws around it, understand why it might break, what are the business requirements it is not keeping an eye on, what are some of the common patterns that, let's say, it is not following, which were already getting followed in your code base and whatnot. So this is something that is going to be very, very important. And of course, in these code reviews, AI can be a good assistant for you, which can actually help you review a lot of code, but still a manual human intervention at this point of time is still very important. So you can see in all of these points, you can have some or other kind of help that you can take with AI, but AI has not like completely replaced all of these important skills and roles. As a backend engineer, it is going to be your responsibility to make sure that the feature that you are shipping is reliable, is maintainable, and is scalable as well. Do let me know in the comment section below what other skills you feel that at this point of time AI has not been able to completely replace. These all important skills and all important domain requirements is one of those reasons why in the Lambda 5.0 cohort, we have actually introduced some deep engineering concepts around distributed systems, scaling the system, writing maintainable code, and whatnot. Do check out Lambda 5.0 in the description section below. And I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section if you want to see similar videos around AI and the disruption that it is actually causing in the industry. Till then, take care. Bye-bye. I'm Sanket Singh, signing off.